Today we are going after the Wizard Nebula NGC-7380. This is an emission nebula you can find in the constellation Cepheus, and it's one I've been looking forward to for quite a while. So we're going to pour on the exposure time tonight and capture this magical target. I'm Rajan, and you're watching God's Art. The Wizard Nebula is just one of those objects that stand out. It surrounds an open star cluster around 7,000 light years away. And it's easy to say 7,000 light years without thinking much of it, but it's crazy how far away that actually is. It's the equivalent of 473 million times further away than the Sun. And even that is more or less impossible to fully process and understand. So let me break it down even further for you. And even that is more or less impossible to fully process and understand. So let me break it down even further for you. If the distance between the Earth and the Sun was the equivalent to the width of a grain of sand, then the Wizard Nebula would be 294 miles away, and we're going to be taking a photo of it tonight. So in order to capture this target, we'll be using the ZWO ASI294 MC Pro camera. This is a one-shot colour called dedicated astronomy camera, which we used last time out capturing the Jellyfish Nebula, and that worked out great, so I've got high hopes for tonight. I'm also going to be using my narrowband filter, my Optolong L-Extreme. This will only let in that HA and O3 light, which should work particularly well for the Wizard Nebula. We're of course using our Skywatcher 200 PDS telescope, 1000mm focal length, which is actually perfect for the Wizard Nebula. I did think about using my 2.5x Barlow as well, which would really put some high magnification in there, and the Wizard Nebula would fill up the whole frame. But I felt like having the surrounding area adds more context and intrigue to that final image. We're going to go for 4-minute exposures at a gain of 120, and hopefully we'll capture about 3 hours worth of total data. So let's go set up now and we'll have a gym session as well. The weather has been terrible recently, but we've got a window tonight, so we've got to make sure we nail this. I've also got a Prince update. We recently sent him away for some training because he's been acting a bit erratic when you take him out for walks. He's so strong, he just pulls you all over the place. So we sent him out for a few weeks just to get him trained up, get him to calm down a bit, and it's made such a big difference. It's going to take him a bit more time to adapt since he's only just come back, but I reckon within a few weeks he'll be so much better. He's going to be turning 2 in July, which is when dogs are normally meant to calm down as well, so that should coincide with this. We've also got ourselves a plug fitted just outside our house, which is really handy for astrophotography, which is connected straight up to my telescope now. It means our wires don't have to go through the door and just makes connecting my telescope so much easier. The sky is clear at the moment, but the forecast is a little bit mixed, so not sure how it's going to go tonight. Okay, so the session is underway and we are now capturing the Wizard Nebula. The weather seemed to have held up too. It's pretty mild out there actually, about 7 or 8 degrees, which is quite nice to stand out in. It's much better than the winter time when it's freezing cold and you just want to be inside. There's also very little wind and there's only a 2% illuminated moon, which has already gone behind the horizon anyway. So we're set up for a great night of astrophotography. The guiding seems to be going pretty well as well. We're using multi-star guiding, which is making a big improvement to the RMS error. So we should be able to track the night sky much better today. I haven't encountered any issues so far, but there seems to be some high cloud coming through. So I'm hoping it just passes by and we can continue with our session. It is worth pointing out that the Wizard Nebula is normally an autumn target, something you'd image around September time. But I just couldn't help myself and I wanted to image it tonight, and I still think we can get a great photo. Let's go outside now and I'll show you what it looks like framed up. So we're looking at live images now coming through on APT Astrophotography tool. As I said, we're doing 4-minute exposures at a gain of 120, and hopefully we can capture about 3 hours of the total exposure time, which will allow us to create a great final image. It's crazy to think that right now in the middle of my screen is an image that I'm taking of an object 4 million years old with a radius of 100 light years. The Wizard Nebula does look dim in these sub-exposures, but once you stack them on top of each other and process it, it will pop out. The camera temperature is minus 20 degrees, so we're keeping it really cold tonight, and that should help keep that noise at bay. The plan is to stay up until about 2 or 3 AM to get as much data as we can, but I'm so excited to process this image tomorrow. So I've just finished processing the photo and I love the final result. I feel like my post-processing is getting better, which is very exciting. It means I can drive those images in the direction that I want to, as I continue to improve on this side of astrophotography. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of those people who commented on my last video, the Jellyfish Nebula. So a big thank you to Ezra, Deepak, DSO Imager, Serge Braun, Bradley Watson, Micharu and Astro Bloke. So a big thank you to all of you, and in the next video I'll be showing out my favourite comments, so make sure you leave one down below of what you think of this final photo, and also give me a suggestion of what you think I should target next. It's crazy to think that a year ago I didn't even know what astrophotography was. I've found a passion which I know I'll be doing for the rest of my life. There's an endless number of possibilities up there, and I'd love for you to subscribe and come along on this journey with me. Before this end picture shows up on your screen, I want you to do something for me. Forget for a moment what's going on in the world and immerse yourself with what you're watching. Recognise the vastness of the universe and the nebula that you're about to see, which is billions of times larger than this planet we call home.